Hi, this is Suzanne Williams with Essential Oils, Health Matters, and Living the Wholesome Life. And we are on week 22, I think it is. Is 22?
Yeah.
Week 22, day 2 of our positive, peaceful affirmations that we are doing every day, Monday through Friday. And we are following Dr. Susan Lawton's book, Positive Peaceful Growth Calendar, that you could buy at Aroma Tools or Oil Life. Is the perfect combination of, if you love positive affirmations, if you love music therapy, if you love essential oils and aromatherapy, you're going to love her book. And you can buy it at Aroma Tools or Oil Life. So, the affirmation for this whole entire week is I listen effectively. And as I'm thinking about that, I want us to all and today we're going to be talking about juniper berry, which is the oil of like facing things that we don't want to face. So, as we're thinking about listening effectively, what I want us maybe to do and journal about is how would we rate ourselves? Like if we were going to grade ourselves on a scale of 1 to 10, or using the letter grades that they have, in the school system, how would we grade ourselves on listening? And I'm going to give us a few categories that we might, of people that we might listen to. The first one is God. How would we grade ourselves on listening and connecting with God? Yesterday I told you a little bit about one of my heroes, Harriet Tubman, Sally Newton. You gotta watch the movie Harriet, right? But I put it out into our homeschool group on who are some other people that you think are amazing at listening to God. And one of the first people that they said was Joan of Arc. I can't believe I forgot that one. She's one of my major heroes, right? Listening to the voice of God and then doing. And we're going to get into an affirmation later on and doing things. But she was so good at listening to the voice of God. Obviously Christ, super amazing at listening to the voice of God. Obviously a God himself. There were some other people, George Washington, listening to the voice of God and just how he did things. I'll be naming some other people throughout the week that I think are really good at listening to the voice of God. Martin Luther King Jr., right? Gandhi. There were some other ones. But anyway, let's just do our thinking. Who are your heroes that are super good at listening to the voice of God? And maybe how can we hear the voice of God more? Yesterday I talked about, as we're praying with a pencil so that when we hear things, we write them down. Also, I feel like a lot of my inspiration comes in the morning. Maybe your inspiration comes after all the children are done for the day and you're vacuuming. Like, I think that can be a major inspirational time too. So whenever it is that you typically seem to hear the voice of God most, let's get a pencil so that we can listen and remember and then go and do. Okay, so the next person or people that I thought that you might listen to is if you're married, your spouse, or if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, then your boyfriend or girlfriend, right? Those romantic relationships that we want to bloom and to blossom and to flourish. Listening is so important in those. And am I a perfect listener in any of these categories? No. I totally want to improve too. I am trying to up level in everything, even as we're going through all this together, right? Just going through all this together. So listening to your spouse, and one of the things that I heard about that is actually when the person is talking, turning toward them. I know it's a small thing, but it can make some people feel so seen and valued when you actually turn toward your spouse and you look them in the eye. So the first tip I'm going to give you on listening to your spouse is turning toward them and looking them in the eye, right? Not staring them down, like never, not like never looking away or never blinking, but just looking at them, seeing them. And I even want to say, let's be intentional on how we're looking at our spouses. Let's try to give grace, to remember they're children of God, and to look at them with the most loving eyes we can. And looking at everyone, just reminding ourselves as we're looking at whoever we're looking at, these people are children of God with infinite worth and amazing potential. And we want to be just basically saying, I love you through our eyes. And do we always remember to do that? No, we don't. But it's just something that we can practice, right? The more we practice, the more perfect we're going to be. I heard anyway, going on. So turning toward them, putting everything else away, right? You don't have your phone out when you're trying to listen to something. You're not going to be on the computer. Am I sometimes guilty of that? Yeah, way too more often than I wish that I was. But I'm trying to up-level my listening too, just along with you guys. Okay, and then trying to listen to what's behind or underneath the feelings, and then reflecting back, hey, am I hearing you correctly? Or it seems like you feel, and naming the emotions, hey, it seems like you feel really frustrated or really happy, really down, whatever the emotion is, like naming the emotion and letting that emotion just kind of be okay. Again, am I perfect at all this? No, but I'm trying to learn alongside all of you, and thank you guys for learning alongside me too. Okay. Who else can you listen to? Your children, your parents, right? I don't know where you are in life. If you're kind of like me, you have parents and you have children. Is it good to try to listen to them both? Yes. Is it good to try to get them to talk about what's important to them? Yes. Maybe setting a few moments aside each day, even if it's just like something small. Again, like those roses and thorns, we try to do them at our evening prayer. I've noticed that a lot of times we forget. People are so ready to go to bed after our evening prayer. But so I've started doing it around our dinner table instead. So what's your rose and your thorn? What's your happy and sad for today? So at least we're connecting on that level. What are some of your connection rituals with your parents or your children? I try to have an activity that I do every day. We actually try to go to the temple every week with my dad. So whatever your connection is with your parents, I'm just going to tell you as a parent, parents love being connected with by their children, right? It makes us feel so loved. So loved when our children want to connect with us. What are you doing to connect with your children? Are you having some fun activities? What's your favorite family activity? Ours is a lot going to movies, and then my husband takes the children, jogging, or sometimes he jogs and they ride their bikes, or he takes them swimming in the mornings. Whatever, getting those connection activities, and even using that time in the car instead of turning on the radio to talk, right? Let's put our time and effort into the people that we really want to connect with. And then, maybe asking us a few questions and then listening. Anyway, also listening to our bosses, right? If we have a job, if we aren't the boss, listening to our bosses. And if we are the boss, listening to those that we're responsible for. Like, they have good ideas too. All ideas don't have to come top down. A lot of amazingly good ideas come bottom up. Our country was formed on the concept that the people have really good ideas and that laws should come bottom up, right? I think that a lot of companies are more successful when they listen to their employees, when they listen to their customers. Okay, those are just a few people that you can listen to or might want to listen to. I'm sure you're going to have a lot more people that you'd want to listen to, but those are just some of my thoughts for the day on listening and listening effectively. Okay, so the affirmation for today, that last one, I am listening effectively, is the affirmation for our whole week. The affirmation for today is, I am initiating action based on what I hear and feel. Loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it, right? Because we don't want to just be the listeners where we hear, oh yeah, that's a good idea, and then just never doing it. As I'm thinking of that concept, I'm thinking of Walt Disney's Alice in Wonderland, where she sings a little song like this, and she says, I give myself very good advice, but I very seldom follow it. That explains the trouble I'm always in. Anyway, and she just goes on to sing about, yes, I know exactly what to do, but I just have the toughest time following it. I'm going to put that song in the comments for you. Hopefully it's going to be online somewhere, right? If I can find it, I'll put it in the comments for you, because we don't want to be that type of person. We don't want to be like, oh yeah, that would be a good idea, and then not doing it. We want to be the type of people that are like, yes, that's a good idea, and we are going to do it now. I know, like Nike, however you want to say it, the shoe company, right? The sports gear company, their motto, I think, is do it, right? That little swish, it just reminds you, hey, let's do it. One of my favorite prophets from our church, the plaque that he kept on his desk was do it now. Like, let's not procrastinate. Let's not put off till tomorrow things that we want to do now. And so I'm just going to tell a little story, super short, on what I'm trying to do right now in my life. So I went to a homeschool conference, and they had like a ton of different classes that you could choose from. And one of the classes that I chose was just simply on reading to your children. So one of our prophets, Thomas S. Monson, was super known for reciting poetry. He just had this mind that was like a steel trap, and he just remembered poem after poem after poem. Anyway, but one of the poems that he would often recite, and I'm going to try to put it in the comments for you, was a song that was a poem that said, you may have had, riches and lands of gold, but richer than me you will never be. I had a mother who read to me. And I know that's just like a little clip out of the poem, but reading, taking the time to connect with our children through stories that inspire us, stories that we love, stories that with great people in them that we want to emulate, that people who go through hard things. One of the things that is happening a lot today is there's a lot of hardship out there, right? There's a lot of hard things going on. And as we read and we see how the hard things happen to other people too, and how they handle it and how they deal with it and how they get through it, it just shows us over and over again that we can handle things and we can get through them too. Studies also find that people who read more tend to be more compassionate because they're used to looking at things through different people's eyes. Because when you're reading, you're not looking at things through your eyes anymore. You're looking at things through someone else's eyes. And that helps us develop compassion. Studies have also found that when people read together, their hearts start linking more together. And is that not what we want for the people in our circles to just read together? I think Christ was a master storyteller, and oftentimes we learn so much through stories. Anyway, I just wanted to share that that's one thing that I heard that I'm committed to doing this year, to read each day, hopefully. I'm sure I'll miss a few, but reading each day with my children. We already read our scriptures pretty faithfully every day together as a family. But more than that, I also want to read share a whole lot of different stories and literature with them. So, as I've been talking, you've probably been thinking about something that you've been kind of inspired to do. You've heard the voice of God. You've heard your inner wisdom bubbling up. And today we're gonna institute whatever it is that we've heard. Okay, that's the affirmation for today. I am initiating action based on what I hear and feel. Okay, the song for the whole entire week is Calling All Angels by Jane Siberry. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name right, and J.D. Ling. And I had never heard the song before, and so I listened to it, and then I listened to it again as I'm, viewing the lyrics on it. And it's just a pretty song. Just a pretty song. We all believe, I don't know what we all believe, but I believe that there's a God who loves us, and we're his children. And I believe as we pray to him, he will help us. And as we listen to his voice, we will do it. Like, that's the major thing. Do it. We will be happy. And so I remember listening to a talk one time at a women's conference by one of our church leaders who's a woman. Her name's Sherry Dew. And she said she was going into a meeting with some majorly important people. And she had to do like a little presentation or give her opinion on this. And she was so nervous, like so nervous. And she, in her prayer, she said, Heavenly Father, will you please help all those in heaven who have an interest and an investment on how this meeting today goes and on the decisions that's going to be made in this meeting. Will you please help them to be present in the meeting and to inspire me on how best to say things and present. Now, she challenged us, Sherry Dew, in this meeting of women's conference. She challenged us to go through the scriptures and mark all of the times where there are angels mentioned and why do they come and how do they interact and the whole 9 yards. Like, let's learn what we can about angels. And anyway, I do that. I do that a lot. I've gone through a lot of my scriptures, not all the set of scriptures, but a lot of my scriptures, and I mark the angels with yellow, just like a yellow colored in, and then I try to study, okay, how are angels showing up in the scriptures, and what can I learn about the specific interaction between humans and angels? Right? Are always messenger of God. I also love the song, I Believe There Are Angels Among Us. And so I'll try to put that song into the comments too. And then, okay, I remember, just as we're talking about taking action, I just wanted to share another little story about a song. There's a song in our faith, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Anyway, there's a song in our faith that says, I am a child of God. Lead me, guide me, walk beside me, help me find the way, teach me all that I must do to live with him someday. Well, the song was originally written, teach me all that I must know. And the prophet who heard the song for the first time said, I love that song. I absolutely love that song. We are children of God, and it's so good. Like, I think it's the very first song that most of our children learn in our church. Anyway, but he said, I just want to change one word. It's okay. Would you be willing to change just one word? And he said, instead of teach me all that I should know, teach me all that I must do. Right? It goes from the knowing to the doing, and that's what we're concentrating on today. We're going from hearing and listening to the voice of God or our inner voice or our best inspiration or whatever you want to call it. And we're going from the hearing to the doing. Okay. So that's our affirmation for the day, and our song for the week is "Calling All Angels." And I put some other songs that you might resonate with when it comes to doing, going out and doing. I would love to hear your favorite song about doing. I would love to hear it. You want to put it in the comments. Anyway, the diffuser blend that we're diffusing. Now, usually we do 2 drops of each, but as I was doing this diffuser blend yesterday, I'm like, there is definitely one essential oil in this diffuser blend that seems to be overpowering to the other ones. So I'm going to give you the 3 essential oils that we're diffusing. It's 2 drops of juniper berry, 2 drops of cilantro, and 2 drops of lavender. Now, can you guess which one was a little bit overpowering? Yep, you're right. It was the cilantro. The cilantro that is so good. Like, we're going to get into cilantro later, but cilantro is a super good oil for people who have to control everything. And I just had to laugh that cilantro was just like so overpowering in this diffuser blend. So usually we do 2 drops of each, but I am definitely going to be changing up this diffuser blend this week. You see what you like and you run with what you like. But for me, I like 1 drop of cilantro, 2 drops of juniper berry, and then 3 drops of lavender. So again, that's 1 drop of cilantro, which is the oil of releasing control, 2 drops of juniper berry, which is the oil of the night or the unknown, and then 3 drops of lavender. I think you'll love, love, love that blend. Okay, so that's our blend. But today we are going to be talking in depth about juniper berry. Now, juniper berry essential oil used by so many ancient civilizations, just been around and used for millennia. Ancient Babylonians, ancient Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Native Americans. hugely used in Europe. Caleb, I forgot my water. Can you go grab it for me? It's right on the desk. Anyway, and so it's used by civilizations around the globe. And so these are some of the gifts of juniper berry essential oil. Okay, the first one is, remember, it's the oil of the night or the dark. It helps us get over our fear of the dark. It helps us get over our fear of the unknown. It takes us from a place of wanting to avoid things, right? I'm sorry, of being like that little ostrich who's like, I don't even want to look at it. I don't even want to look at it, because if I look at it, I'm going to have to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. It's too scary for me, right? It takes us from that place of, you know what? I'm strong enough. I'm strong enough to open my eyes and see what's really going on. And yeah, I might not be able to make everything perfect, and I really doubt that I can make everything perfect, right? But I'm strong enough to handle things even when they're not perfect. And it's good to see what's going on. So it takes us from a place of fear and avoidance to a place of, yes, let's explore. Let's, get down to the brass tacks of really what's happening. Number 1 gift, juniper essential oil emotionally gets us from a place of fear and avoidance to a place of, yes, let's look at what's going on. Okay? So it's really good for to help you stop avoiding looking at things. It also is very good at helping people get rid of the negativity. It helps people get rid of the bitterness. It's renowned for getting rid of toxic energy in environments. Have you ever walked into a room and you're like, what was happening here? Like, you just know, you could just feel the tension in the room, right? Juniper berry, it can be such a game changer. Okay, it is great as we're heading into Valentine's this week. Um, it is great for the times that we feel insecure on in love, insecure on relationships, insecure on how lovable we are, right? Oh, if I could just sit there and give you a hug and hold your hand and tell you how amazingly lovable you are. You are a child of God and you are so lovable. Juniper Berry, it helps release our fears on that, letting us know that we don't have to be perfect to be lovable. We don't have to be all that to be lovable. Life doesn't have to be perfect in order to be good, right? Um, Juniper Berry is said to be able to help us connect with our intuition, and it's also a lot of people also love using it in their meditation because it can really help with focus. Now, the super interesting thing about Juniper Berry is although it helps with focus and it helps with memory, it is such a gentle. Maybe you're way more perfect mom or mom than I am, but parent than I am. But have you ever had one of your children just out, I don't even like you, right? Or even maybe harsher, I hate you. And have you ever stood in that moment, just stood absolutely grounded, like your roots just super grounded in who you are, and being in the situation, being able to see the situation for all that it is, and being able to, you know what, I understand that you're frustrated right now. I understand that. And even though you say you don't love me or whatever, I still amazingly love you. I just want you to know that. Even though all that, I still have a deep love for you. Like, doesn't that just make you feel super good when you're in those grounding moments? And are we always in those grounded moments? No. Like, no. Like, we're people too, right? And so sometimes our children are like, whatever, sassing us back or whatever. And are just super grumpy to us. And like, we react, right? Right. It's so much nicer when we're grounded. And I just, using essential oils and meditating and having those times of quiet can really make it so when those times of storm come into your life, you are grounded and strong in who you are and what you want to do. As my sister, who I call the Queen of Love, says, we are so much more able to hold our road, right? Hold our road despite what's happening in the storms around us when we are grounded. Essential oils, they can super help us hold our road. Okay, so it can help us see things with eyes of compassion. And with that compassion, it can also help us see that, what? Things can be bad, but we can still laugh. Oh my gracious, what a day I've had, right? Have you ever talked to your best friend on the phone and you're just laughing about how awful things are, right? We can do that. We can do that with our family. We can do that with ourselves. We can see things with humor, knowing that we're all going to get through this. We are. You're hearing this today. You've had 100%, 100% record on getting through every day. Like, give yourself that. You've had a 100% record on getting through every day, and you can get through whatever happens today too. And I'm just gonna guess. I just like prepare myself. You know what? There's gonna be some type of storm today, and where I need to stand loving and grounded, and being prepared. It really does help me get my game plan on and hold my road. Okay. And the last gift of juniper essential oil is that it can help us be grateful for learning through whatever is going on around us and whatever experiences we've had in life. Have we all had all super good experiences? No, that's not what this life was for. We came through this life to experience the good and the bad and to be tested and to learn, right? And that happens through good and bad experiences too. We can learn just as much through the bad experiences that we have as we can through the good. And juniper berry allows us to be thankful for life, thankful for the experiences of learning alongside others. Okay, so some essential emotions that can be addressed with juniper berry: irrational fears, reoccurrent nightmares, disrupted. I think that's a hard word for me to say today for whatever reason. Disrupted sleep and avoiding. And the positive properties that it can bring into our life is feeling protected, peaceful dreaming, feeling courageous, and being self-aware, having the courage to look at things that are really going on. Okay, so that's the essential, the emotional benefits of juniper essential oil. Again, this week we're diffusing, I'm going to say 2 drops juniper berry, which is the oil of the night or the unknown, 1 drop from me, of cilantro, which is the oil of releasing control, and then 3 drops of lavender, which is the oil of communication. We're listening to the song for the week, Calling All Angels. There might be some other song that you connect with, but I would say, yeah, put the song on, give it a try, see what you think. I like the song. And then the affirmation for today is, I am initiating action. Like maybe today we can think of us as with a superhero, right? Getting our superhero gift, power. There you go. Superhero power for the day. It is going to be action. We are taking action on what we are doing. So the affirmation again for the day is, I'm initiating action based on what I hear and feel. And the affirmation for the week is, I listen effectively. Okay, so this is Suzanne Williams with Essential Oils Health Matters. And I'm so thankful for you again sharing this experience with me of just having this chat with me on some of these positive affirmations. Okay, and I know that we have the power between us and God to make it a great day. Okay,